folks. I'm going to try to make this short. I know I say that every time. Just a couple of quick updates on 3i Atlas. We won't really have anything real to talk about until, what is it, December 19th, when we should be getting a lot more new images in. Earth will be the closest, and so hopefully, not really going to get any news until about then, which isn't that far away, which is nice. And this, by the way, however, is an actual photograph done by an amateur astronomer. So, if amateur astronomers are putting this stuff out, this is a lot of work, a lot of nights, a lot of exposures, a lot of plates, a lot of layering, a lot of work. But, an amateur astronomer did that. So, they can do that with a couple $1,000 setup. Again, it comes back on NASA that, we kind of expect a little bit more out of you, son. Anyhow, just a couple of things, and then, we're going to, rack up our favorite rock covered in, our heavily condensed rock covered in ice and burning with plasma and whatnot. Some of the latest poop on the internet is it has a pulse, or it's beating, or something along those lines. That goes right back to the same thing when they were saying it was putting out radio signals that it was trying to contact us. Again, if it's a spinning object, and if it happens to be putting a jet out at a regular interval somewhere in our direction, now, okay, we can be here, and this looks like it's pointing right at us, right? But in reality, as you can see, let me do it this way. I'm not pointing at it. I'm pointing way over here. I'm pointing away. Coordination, Scott, get some. But when I rotate it around, it looks like I'm pointing at it. So if we're looking at it from this way, and in reality, it's really pointing that way, not at it, but off in that direction, it still looks like it's pointing towards us, or towards us, or towards the sun. Same difference. We have a two-dimensional plane we're seeing it at. So also signals coming at it will come at us, any signal that comes through that plane. So if it's spinning and it has a jet at one point, and the jet's regular or constant, but generally, let's say if it's regular every 30 seconds and the same does a rotation every 30 seconds, each time that jet shot off, it'd be in our direction or towards the direction of the sun, and it would look like every time we saw it, it was continuous. Although in reality, it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off, it's shooting over here, not really over there. So, okay. Now, be careful on that one. We only have, limited perspectives on our favorite rock. So, we're on Earth looking at it, or we have Mars looking at it, or, whichever. So, hopefully when Earth comes closer to Earth, which is the 19th of this month, December 19th, 2025, we'll get some better images of it. NASA. Anyhow, then there's the other scuttlebutt that they're originally saying that when it came out from behind Jupiter, it had made course changes and velocity changes, and it's now heading to the exact perfect direction and to meet up with Jupiter, where it will then be able to catch Jupiter's gravity and become in orbit around Jupiter. And now the numbers have changed from NASA, or JPL, who put them out. And they're saying, see, this is proof you're trying to hide it from us. This is proof you're hiding us, because the numbers are now different than what you said before. Well, the numbers are different because the original calculations were based on something that was, more iron, or not iron, but more carbon, more, it was based on a different set of densities, different set of materials that they'd be able to pick up. When they update the data on the rock with more of it, what we know is coming off of it, nickel, and various gases and whatnot, we modify the mass, what makes up the mass, which then modifies velocity. Okay, remember all that? So when they updated the specs, they updated it for the more information we have on what's actually the object made of. From what little we do know, but it's, before it was measured on something that's more rock than ice, and this is probably more ice than rock. But anyhow, so no, it's not NASA trying to hide secrets from us. They're not changing the mathematics, changing the science because, the people out there discovered that it's going to go in orbit around Jupiter, and it's a probe intentionally set to do so, and they're going to colonize Jupiter. Well, good luck on that. once they disappear in Jupiter's atmosphere, they're gone. We won't see them again for who knows what. Jupiter's not a solid planet, not until you get way down in there. Those are all clouds up there. A lot of layers of clouds. A lot of layers of clouds before you get to a mass. But anyhow, no, JPL, NASA, Goddard, whoever, I don't know who put the numbers out. They did not alter them to upset the people. They altered them to make corrections for updated information on mass and or what it's made out of, so they can calculate it better and more accurately. Okay. Plus the change in direction, its angle wasn't that big compared to, how much. I mean, we're talking, but anyhow. Also, some people have been reporting they've seen a hole in it. Okay. If you've got some kind of equipment that sees it well enough that can detect a hole in 3i Atlas, if there's a hole in the middle of this or through the side of it or, a big hole in it that, please, share. Put them out. Show us your equipment. Hey, not that way. No, I mean, show us your astronomy equipment and your means of photography and or radio imagery, X-ray imagery. What? How are you getting the data that there's a hole in it, and share it with the world? We'd love to see it. You got something? You tuned in on the exact right frequency that you can see a hole in it? Share it, and not with a cartoon drawing. So, anyhow, that's the latest crap going around on YouTube and other places. No, it doesn't have a pulse. No, it's not beating. No, it's not sending signals to us other than, normal, as we all radiate, we all put out a frequency. No, NASA did not change the data to upset conspiracy-minded people or make conspiracies out of people. No, they just updated the data based on what we knew, like you're supposed to do when you get your data, make your calculations, then make your theory. That's the way it works. You make your theory first, go away. That's not science. That's politics. No hole in the center that we were able to detect, that we know of, but hey, there could be. You don't know. We can't see it. So if you can, good on you. So, anyhow, like I said, keeping this one short and sweet. So, enjoy your day. Again, be nice to people out there. May your God go with you. Zabos, and